20 years ago, the Maker prevented a radioactive spider from biting a young Peter Parker. He likewise prevented the creation of any other superheroes and formed a secret council to rule the world from the shadows. When Tony Stark learned the dark history of his universe, he sought to undo it, prompting the Maker's Council to attack Manhattan, killing thousands and frame Stark for it. Peter Parker has lived his life unaware of the Maker's Council or the truth behind the spider. But that is about to change.
Here I am, in the place to be, Mr. K&B, you can't fuck with me. Extra sexy, extraordinary, palms are hairy, your mama pop.
What up, y'all? It's K&B, the Sexy Ninja, in the place to be for a Paper Saber universe, and this is the Sexy Ninjacast, a podcast all about me, K&B, and things I love. And one thing that I love is comic books, because you can gain so much inspiration from them. And this new one that just dropped out, spoilers, before we go on, so you just know right there, if you have not read the new Ultimate Spider-Man #1 by Johnathan Hickman, it is a blessing, reinventing the wheel this thing has done. And to a character that really you can reinvent the wheel for, and I'm talking about Spider-Man. Spider-Man is one of those characters that we look to, especially when we're young. When he was bit by a radioactive spider, dealing with these things while he's a teenager, and going through life, making sacrifices and all this and that at such a young age. And now we got a Peter Parker in this Ultimate Universe that has not been bitten by the spider because of the Maker and everything like that. So we are starting fresh with this Peter Parker right here. And not only is he not young, he's got 2 kids. He's married to Mary Jane. He works at the Daily Bugle. Uncle Ben's alive. Aunt May is dead. J. Jonah Jameson works at the paper. Kingpin, Fisk, he owns the Daily Bugle and everything like that. We got Harry Osborn is still alive. His mom and dad dead and everything like that. And we got Matt Murdock, who's a priest, which is fitting and understandable. Like if he wasn't a superhero, I could see him being a priest and everything like that. We're introduced to all these things in this new universe that is being resparked. And Tony was, if you heard the monologue in the starting of the show, I read it off the page and everything like that. We're in this world where the Maker went back through time and started like doing things where superheroes did not exist, and now this Tony Stark is trying to go through and recreate these superheroes and everything like that. And this new Ultimate line, if you've not read it, it was last year, Johnathan Hickman's Ultimate Invasion. Then we had the Ultimate Universe. It was a one-shot or something like that. Like, it definitely was like, here we go. We have new superheroes coming. We have these new ideas. And the next 2 books are Black Panther and Ultimate X-Men. Yeah, Ultimate Black Panther and stuff like that. And then it's like, where can we go? And the Ultimate Universe is a huge, huge thing, in my opinion. Like, if you remember back early 2000s and everything like that, like, we needed something new, we needed something fresh, and Marvel was like, yo, we need to create these things, so let's create an alternate universe and call it the ultimate, the Ultimate Universe and everything like that. We can play in the sandbox, and we can introduce Ultimate Spider-Man, Ultimate X-Men, we can take these characters and just shake them up and just restart everything. And then a big event happened called Ultimatum, and then and everything, and then the universe exploded, and we had Secret Wars and it just took the universe back to square one and said, okay, here we go. Comic books have been doing this for a very long time. If you go out there and you type in Amazing Spider-Man #1, you're probably gonna get a few of them pop up on you. Be like, whoa, I'm talking about the first one. No, there's a lot of jumping on points that comic books do, and it's like many things. You go into a comic book shop, you're like, hey, I like Batman, but there is points of like, okay, well, what am I going to get into for Batman? It's just like, okay, well, look here, young lad, I've been at this for a while. And you go and that's why it's really cool. Like, there's graphic novels and stuff like that. You could be like, okay, here's a taste of something. And I'm so steeped into it that I try to keep up as best as possible. And so I was fiending to read this issue. I was like, what are we gonna do with Peter Parker? And at this age, I'm guessing he's in his 30s or whatnot. And I'm 35, so taking this Peter Parker and reading this Peter Parker was like, oh, and he's dealing with these issues, and he tries to talk to Uncle Ben, and he's like, hey man, I don't know, I want to change. I want something new. I need something. And then he finally talks to Mary Jane and tells her yeah, hey, I need something. She's like, is this going to affect our relationship? And he's like, no. She's like, well, go get him, Tiger. And then Uncle Ben gave him the wise words of wake up then. You're contemplating your entire life and everything like that. Wake up and do your thing, because at a certain point in this issue, J. Jonah Jameson quits the Daily Bugle. Ben Parker joins him right afterwards. And Peter's like, oh shit, you can do that? And he goes and he visits them both at the bar. And he's just like, hey, Uncle Ben, and then they decide while they're at the bar, they're drinking and everything like that. They're like, yeah, we're gonna change our lives. We're gonna start our own news company. We're gonna do it. We're gonna be fresh with it. We're gonna start, And when Peter hears all this, he goes to Uncle Ben. He sits there and he's like, how'd you do this? And Ben's like, what? How did you just uproot and just change your life in 3 hours? You quit a job that you've been at forever. You just did it. And Ben's just like, yeah. When you asked me earlier how I am, how I feel, he's like, my wife's dead. I don't have a job, and now I'm going to start this new thing with J. Jonah Jameson and everything like that. So it was like, this was an awe-inspiring type of book that I had to sit back and contemplate, because it tickled me. It tickled my fancy, very tickly. It would tickle, tickle, tickle. And then I started contemplating life, oh my God, I'm sitting there like Peter, what do I need to do to change? What do I need to do? And then the words of Ben Parker in my head from this book, wake up. And then Mary Jane's, go get him, Tiger, just was flowing in my head. And I'm like, and I that's why I like a good book that can just grab you from this instant. And after Peter hears this and everything like that, he goes, yes, I want change. I want something new. I need something. And you find out later on, because he wasn't sleeping well, he got this message from Tony Stark, who's like, I've gone into the future. Your life was taken from you. You were supposed to be bitten by a radioactive spider, and this society took that all away from you. They took your life. How fucking crazy would it be if you just somebody sent you something here you go, and then it pops up and they're like, hey, by the way, this is not supposed to be your life. This, and this is why Peter's questioning everything. He wants change. He wants something new. He needs something. And hearing that your life was taken away from you and what it could have been, and making the choice to go after it now. And so Tony's like, hey, I am trying to reestablish, and hopefully in these certain months and whatnot, I can bring back the heroes of this universe, because there's a lot of things going on. There's a new Green Goblin here. I'm guessing it's Harry Osborn. He attacked Fisk in the book and everything like that after J. Jonah Jameson and Ben Parker quit the Daily Bugle. And it's just one of those things where Parker's like, yes, I need change. I need to do something. And after getting the wake up and go get him, Tiger, it's a great panel. Oh, it's just so good. He takes out this orb and it dissolves, and there's the spider. There's the spider. And he puts it on his hand. He gets bit, and it just has this big shot at the end of you can see him in the shadows and whatnot. We're not really seeing the new suit and everything like that. It just, that's the way it ends, as the beginning. And I'm like, ah! Oh my God, this is fucking awesome. But I read it and I was like, oh man. And I probably sat there for a good 10 minutes, just staring at the wall and just thinking of this book, and man, it's all about just going for it, right? It's all about it's never too late to jump in and go for change. It's never too late, and it's scary. Change is scary. Doing something like that, and Peter looking at J. Jonah Jameson and Ben Parker yo guys, you just quit. You quit your job, and now you guys are like, hey, we're starting this new thing. And that's scary for a lot of people, and I won't lie, it's scary for me, because I'm human. It's one of those things that this book of reinventing this Peter Parker to speak to someone as myself, who is creating content, who's making things, who's sitting sitting here talking about these things that I love, you know, and I'm so glad that I got to sit there and read this, and it inspired me. And inspiration, it comes from a lot of things. Inspiration comes from a lot of things, but it's what you do with it. And what Peter did was he had his moments of inspiration in this book with Ben and with Mary Jane, saying like, hey, go for the change, make the change, do the change. And it kind of made me reflect on my life with this whole thing, with the podcasting to the vlogging to these new ideas that we've been doing and trying and stuff like that. The Sexy Ninjacast, the New World podcast, and everything like that. It's just a really good book. And I got to thank Johnathan Hickman. He's just one of those writers that I really connect with on a lot of things, especially his when he rebooted the X-Men universe, House of X and Power of X. And now that's slowly coming to an end. And I don't know how I feel about that, but Johnathan stepped away when Johnathan stepped away. So he told his stories, and I have that full series in trade paperback and single issues and stuff like that. But it's really cool that he understands these characters, and that's why I think I connect with Johnathan so much, because I love these characters and how much I love Spider-Man. How much I love Spider-Man and this character. And I was talking to some coworkers the other day. We're talking about the movies and stuff like that, and I still say Spider-Man 2 is by far one of my favorite Spider-Man movie, next to No Way Home. And, you know, Spider-Man 2 is one of those things, though. It's one of those things where he's losing his powers and he has to get the confidence to have those powers and stuff like that. You know, it's one of those things, like, it's, you know, everyone's faced that in their life. Like, they're trying to gain that confidence to be who they are, to be what they want to be, what they strive to be. And that's why I really like this book, because we got a Peter Parker who wants his life back, but now gaining that life at this certain age, and what new dangers and what new adventures are going to come with it, with him becoming Spider-Man. And, you know, and I'm very excited to see where this universe goes. I'm very excited to see how this universe is going to be built and stuff like that. And I'm very excited. And Black Panther's along the way, the Ultimate X-Men's along the way, and everything like that. And I got to say, the art in this book is gorgeous. I love art. And sort of my kryptonite, because speaking of Superman, sort of my kryptonite, because I love variant covers. And for this issue #1 for Ultimate Spider-Man, there's some amazing variant covers, especially with the Mary Jane and the family and everything like that. I was like, and after I read this issue and I got done and I sat there contemplating life, and I was trying to flip some webs onto the ceiling and nothing was coming out. I was like, God damn it! Where's a radioactive spider when you need one? And I was like, oh man, I wonder. Go to Cab Comics, my local comic book store. I was like, I'm going to go to Cab Comics and I'm going to get every single variant issue. And then I pulled out my wallet and I'm like, ooh, a little dust. I was like, boop, boop. I was like, nope, no variant covers today. But I love variant covers. I respect art. I love art, especially when it's drawn and then, you know, you can tell the details and stuff. And that's what this book has, some really great details of New York and everything like that. And it's just a really fun book. And I like, you know, we have Peter's kids. Like, where do we go with them? You know, we have May and we have Richard, and it's really cool to be like, the future is bright. And if you can keep taking these things and reconstructing them to where somebody like myself can be like, oh, that's dope, that's inspiring, like how can I use that, you know? And go check, if you want to check out this series, I highly recommend reading Ultimate Invasion. It's like four issues. You can find the trade paperback probably soon, and read it and see what the maker did. And the maker is an evil Reed Richards. You know, if you want to go back even further, go check out Secret Wars, where everything was kind of like, it was all over the place, and like what DC did with the Infinite Crisis. You know, they took it and it's like, okay, now it's back here. This is where we're going, and this is where we're staying for a bit. And now I'm slowly like, okay, that's cool. Oh, that's fun. We got Spider-Man gang war going on. That's cool. We got these little cool things, and we got these little cool things and stuff like that. But I don't know. I really enjoyed this book, and I wanted to share it. I wanted to share how it made me feel, how I felt. And it's just one issue. I can't wait till issue 2. And that's going to be in February. And I'm like, oh, it's too far. And that's the thing about comic books. If it's a good read, you have to go get it, man. And I highly recommend this book. Johnathan Hickman, Ultimate Spider-Man. I'm excited to see where we go. I'm excited to see where we're going to swing next. And That's it. That's all. Like and subscribe. Share with your grandma. Share with your grandpa. Share with the bum down at Walmart. Go check out this book. Drop those comments below if you like this book or not. If you don't, if you're like, man, that was trash, that was garbage, tell me why. What, or were you inspired like I was? Sitting there contemplating life, and my wife comes around the corner. She's like, "What are you doing, big head boy? What are you doing?" And I'm like, I just read Ultimate Spider-Man. And she's like, nerd. Walks up and drop those comments below, and thank you so much for everyone that's been riding with me for this journey I've been on for a very long time, and documented too for 7 years. I realized that the other day, and I was like, go check out the content. There's a lot on the YouTube channel. So, all right, y'all, I'm KMB the Sexy Ninja, and remember, stay sexy, ninjas. Whoop, whoop.
Welcome to the wicked shit.